What's up, guys? It's your man, Donovan Sharp, and welcome to this edition of TSR Live. As always, you guys can hit me anytime on Twitter at Donovan_Sharp. You can always visit my website, donovansharp.com, for additional content. Definitely hit up returnofkings.com as well as negromanosphere.com. I've actually got 100 articles published between those two sites. So if you want additional content from yours truly, definitely be sure to hit those sites and let me know what's going on. What's going on, Lexus119? I see you there, brother. Let me know, Lexus. My assistant is unable to help me out with this tonight. Do I sound good? Am I having sound problems? Or let me know how that sounds if you can just put that in the chat. Because I've done a couple of these. I did one when I was down in Vegas, and the sound was pretty shitty. Anybody who's in the chat, if you guys can just let me know. Okay, very good. Got the thumbs up from Lexus119. Definitely appreciate that. All right, well, let's go ahead and get to the topic du jour. I've actually got the NBA Finals on right now, and it looks like Cleveland's going to win this one going away. Looks like they've set the NBA record for three-pointers made in an NBA Finals game. They actually broke the record. That was thank you, James Jefferson. Appreciate that. They set the NBA record. Looks like they're up by 17, but they set the NBA record for three-pointers made that was set that was broken earlier in the series. I think it was game 1 by Golden State. Anyway. The topic at hand is the racial graffiti. The racial graffiti that LeBron allegedly was a victim of. Scobay, why would you do a live podcast while the game is on? Well, because it's probably going to be a blowout. So LeBron James, and this happened the day before the finals, LeBron James's $21 million Brentwood mansion was allegedly vandalized. Apparently, it was reported to the LAPD that someone had written the N-word. Someone wrote nigger on his gate, and it was reported to the police at 6:44 a.m. when there was daylight still out. Now, of course, LeBron, LeBron's in Cleveland. He's getting ready, I forget. He was in California. He was up in the San Francisco, Oakland area for before game 1. And of course, he goes on and does the press conference. Oh, it's hard to be a black man in America, blah, 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 blah. And listen, just as a side note, no one should feel sorry for LeBron. Like, he is not an oppressed individual. He's been the chosen one. He's been the chosen one since he was a middle schooler. Everyone knew he was going to be dirty, rotten, filthy, stinking rich, and that's all there is to it. So he can't really play the victim role in this particular instance. But be that as it may, we live in a social justice warrior, feminist-inspired country. So anyway, he gets praised and lauded because of his riveting press conference, which wasn't really all that articulate in the first place. LeBron should definitely just stick to what he does, which is building businesses, playing basketball, and making money. At any rate, Clay Travis, and I'll go ahead and give props to him. His website is outkickthecoverage.com, and this guy is a very controversial sports pundit, and listen, he's got a new fan in me because he tells it like it is. And a lot of people say, well, I tell it like it is, and they really don't. They tell it like it is so long as they're able to keep their job. Well, Clay Travis really tells it like it is, and he wrote an article today that called into question the validity of the LeBron James hate crime vandalization. And I'm just going to go over the highlights here just to point this stuff out. And listen, when I heard it or when I read it, I said, you know what, this guy's got a point. So the crime was reported at 6:44 a.m. Now, keep in mind, we're on the West Coast. It's still daylight out. So you mean to tell me that all so daylight, there had been at least an hour of daylight when the crime was reported. So you mean to tell me that for the first hour, joggers, dog walkers, people driving to work trying to beat traffic, nobody took a picture? Everybody knows that's LeBron James's Brentwood mansion. If the word nigger was spray painted on his gate, someone would have most assuredly taken a picture to, it would have been all over. It would have been all over social media. Okay, that didn't happen. Now, when the cops arrived, the graffiti had already been painted over. So now we need to find out, well, whose decision was it to paint over the graffiti? And if you were reporting a crime, like if you're reporting, someone vandalized my house, why would you paint over the graffiti? Why would you paint over the vandals, the artwork from the vandals? You would want the cops to maybe get the kind of paint to take a picture. Obviously, it's allegedly a crime scene. It needs to be treated as such. You don't contaminate a crime scene. LeBron obviously has surveillance around his $21 million estate. Still, there's no video evidence. Clay Travis called the LAPD, and they don't have any video surveillance. Something else that he pointed out was they had at the time that the crime was reported, when the cops got there, it was painted over. So Clay Travis calls into question. He says, well, wait a minute. What was there? Did they call a painter? Did a painter get there that fast to go? It was just, and listen, all the LAPD had was a picture that was shown to them by LeBron's people. Now, one of the funniest things, in my estimation, from this entire episode or saga, is that the NAACP demanded that Donald Trump apologize to LeBron, as if it were Donald Trump himself who flew to LA, flew to Brentwood, and spray painted the word nigger on LeBron's property. It's so funny how the narrative in this country is that if you're a Trump supporter or if you voted for Donald Trump, you are automatically a racist. Well, guess what? Donald Trump didn't get into the White House without black people voting. He didn't get into the White House without getting at least a portion of the minority vote. Interestingly enough, the story has all but disappeared. Listen, there are still no suspects, still no evidence. The story is dead. Now, to be fair, I'm not going to sit here and say that I think LeBron perpetuated this lie. I think that, and listen, I don't know what happened. My guess is that one of his boys or one of his quote people, or I probably shouldn't say posse, but one of his people, obviously, someone in his camp allegedly sent him a picture. Hey, man, like somebody spray painted the word nigger on your gate. Well, guess what, man? Like, I don't know that LeBron had anything to do with it. I don't know what he didn't, but my guess is that he probably did. LeBron's a good guy. He's not that dude. So again, maybe he knew, maybe he didn't, but maybe someone really vandalized his property. Maybe we didn't. The point is that we will probably never know. And this is where the false rape accusations come in. Girls or females report rape, all right? And law enforcement defaults to the accused committed the crime, and then they work from there. Men who are accused of rape, sexual assault, etc., are guilty until proven innocent in the eyes of law enforcement. Everybody from the judge to the DAs, all the way down to the beat cops and the detectives, guilty till proven innocent, and then they work from there. This is the same with the LeBron incident. Someone said that it happened. They showed the quote evidence, which again, still no one has seen, and the public treats it like it's the truth. The LAPD got a report that LeBron's estate or his mansion was vandalized. They were told this, but they don't have any evidence to support that claim. But it was still put out there that this is the truth. Yes, this actually happened because LeBron said it. Nobody's questioning LeBron's story except for Clay Travis. And right now, he's being treated exactly the same way men who question the validity of rape victims. They're calling Clay Travis a racist. And how could you call into question this is a hate crime? Hey, hate crime or not, if there's no evidence, We as listen, it's not even a journalism thing. We as people, the taxpayers, we have a right to into question the validity of an alleged crime. This is how this works. Little to no evidence. A story which can't be verified by anyone but the victim, and the public automatically takes their word for it. And just like this LeBron racist graffiti story has largely disappeared because there's no public evidence, the same happens with these false rape claims. It's all the same, and ESPN does this. There's public outcry, throw him in jail, get him fired, cut his balls off, he should never work again or play again. But when there's no evidence, the sports media drops the story. ESPN drops the story. If ESPN gets the idea, okay, well, maybe this dude didn't commit this crime, now all of a sudden they stop talking about it. Okay, they didn't listen. It's funny. Patrick Kane was accused of sexual assault last year, and it was obviously a false rape accusation. ESPN never went on air, as far as I know. I mean, and someone can send this to me if I'm wrong. ESPN never went on the air and say, "Hey, look, Patrick Kane was exonerated." And some would rightfully point out, well, they talked about Derrick Rose wasn't prosecuted, but they didn't do that because they thought he was innocent. They did that because they thought he was guilty. When Derrick Rose wasn't indicted for the alleged crime of rape, ESPN's tone was, well, Derrick Rose wasn't prosecuted, he wasn't indicted, but that doesn't mean that a crime didn't occur. Like, it doesn't matter. Even if he's found not guilty, he is still guilty. And when there's zero evidence to support a false rape accusation, even when there's evidence to support their innocence, ESPN definitely buries the story. Like, you'd never, ever hear about it ever again. A little while back, I did a live episode about the LeVar Ball, Christine Leahy fiasco. You can just look that up. It's over 27,000 views. But in that episode, I talked about how feminists have recruited other groups of, quote, oppressed people. And the reason they've done this is because the public has largely figured out that the feminists were full of shit. They understand that. Well, what the feminists did, listen, to their credit, I'm not going to knock them for doing this. They want to keep their cause going, whether I agree with it or not. It's actually a brilliant strategy. What they did is they got their credibility back by recruiting minorities, blacks, Mexicans, etc. They started recruiting faggots, lesbos, and the morbidly obese. And when you insult one, you essentially insult them all. So if you say something about fat people, the gays and the lesbians, the homos and, the minorities jump on and talk about how you shouldn't say that. Or if you make a racist comment, the faggots and lesbians and fat people talk about how you're a bad person. It's just a cycle. LeBron James was treated like a false rape accuser. They took his story as gospel, and they showered him with praise, attention, and sympathy. So if you're a woman, if you're a minority, or if you're a member of this LGBT, I think they added a fucking Q to it. I don't know. They're basically faggots and freaks and homos. Fuck them all, man. I mean, I'm not going to fuck them. I'm just saying those guys are full of shit. Or if you're a fat person, all you have to do is say that a man said or did something to offend you, and you'll get the exact same treatment. And it's been like that in this country for years, and it's no wonder men are pissed off. That does it for this edition of TSR Live. Like I said, visit donovansharp.com anytime for additional content. Be sure to check out my content on returnofkings.com as well as negromanosphere.com. Tomorrow at 10 o'clock Pacific, 1 o'clock Eastern, and I think at 6 o'clock Britain time for all of my listeners in the UK, I'm going to be on live with Illimitable Man, and we are going to discuss some disturbing trends in the manosphere. Why there are so many haters, why so many men who there are too many men out there who think they know more than red pill aware men. Too many haters out there. So we're going to address that stuff, and we're going to have a lot of fun. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Talk to you next time.